on, I have debated and I have tried really hard to find the courage to do this. For some of us, it is hard to go live because, in a sense, it's kind of giving off like who we are in the most realist form with no script, with no nothing. So I guess I've been really in my head about it for some time, and I was like, how can I really help people, on the fly? Like, what can I give them? And again, that's too much thought. So I figured I would start off with a little bit of a story as to how I came to understand and got in touch with my own higher self. I hope this is relatable. And then after I finish the story, if no one's come on, that's cool. It's my first time. I just decided to, rip the band-aid off and just do this already. So I wanted to talk about the higher self. So a lot of people look at me and say, okay, yeah, it's a general term, it's something. But I want to share a story that I hope helps people understand where it can be found in your own life. So I'm going to take you back to a point in my life where I was 5 years old. I was a child just like everyone else. I had every other upbringing that most people have. Everyone has different ones, but I know that I was, in tune as a child, just like most of us are, to other things, imagination, things of that nature. But regretfully, I was brought a very bad situation when I was 5 that kind of shaped me tremendously and is probably still shaping me till this day in regards to how I view myself and the world. So at 5 years old, I was met with a bully. I was on the playground. I was playing a game with my friends, and I was playing this game called Snakey. It's like a snake you play with your, jump rope, and you put a snake on the ground. So it was me, myself, and two other friends, and we're just playing a game. All of a sudden, these two teenage boys hop the fence and jump into the schoolyard. And myself and my friends were in this like little corner where the doors are, and there's a fence behind us that's maybe like 4 feet high. And when you jump that fence, it goes straight into the teacher's parking lot, and there's a brick wall, and you can't really see into the teacher's parking lot. So I was playing there with my friends, and all of a sudden, these two teenagers jump in and they start pushing us around. We're 5, they're like 16 years old. And one of the boys came up to me and was like, get rid of your rope, get rid of your stuff. And I was like, why? Just like any other kid. Like, why should I do this? And the boy proceeded to harass me and my friends, beat me up. I got kneed. I got choked out by this boy. He was 16, I believe, something to that effect. And being 5 years old, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand why this person was attacking me. I didn't understand why no one saw this. I couldn't understand why my friends were crying in the corner, trying to, be there for me, but not be there for me. So finally, one of my friends went to run and go get one of the teachers while this kid kept doing this. But once he saw the little boy run, he called over to his friend and was like, hey, we got to go. We got to get out of here. So they jumped the fence and take off into the teacher's parking lot. And by the time the teachers had arrived to the area where I was with my other friend who was crying, I was all bloodied. I was all kneed up, bloodied up. And the girl that was watching, my friend, was just crying so hard. And she couldn't get words out, and she couldn't describe. She was just like pointing, and they're gone, they're gone. And me, I was just crying. But I know that the reason why I got hurt in the first place was because of speaking my truth. I know it was because I was saying something that was so practical, asking a little kid question like, why? But as a result of that situation, I was, injured really badly. And not just in a physical sense, in a mental sense, in an emotional sense. And that carried with me throughout my life. It made it really hard for me to speak my truth. It made it really hard. I always thought if I spoke my truth, something was going to happen to me or something was going to hurt me. But I want to say the reason why I'm talking about this situation, this tragedy in my life, is because when it was all happening and the teachers came to talk to me, no one believed me. None of the teachers thought it actually took place the way it did. And it was my first reality as a very young kid realizing that no one was there, no one believed me, even though I spoke my truth. And the only solace I had as a child or as any human being on this planet was the fact that I knew that there was this essence, there was this feeling, there was understanding that something was watching me. Something was there with me, that knew my truth, that knew what had happened, even though my friends crying couldn't relate, even though the teacher didn't believe me, even though the two bully 16-year-olds were already long gone. I knew that something was there with me at that time. And it's that truth within myself that I carried with me the rest of my life. And I want to see that as human beings on this planet, we all know that we have that watcher, we have that self, we have that inner understanding watcher that knows everything we've done, everything we felt, everything we've gone through. And it doesn't matter if the whole world doesn't believe you, doesn't step up for you, doesn't show up for you. You know that in your heart, they call it the heart, that's the real understanding of self. The self that sees all things, the self that sees every single facet of your existence. And the thing I will say is that for most of us out there who don't have anyone celebrate us or don't have anyone walk with us in our life, that inner self or that higher self version of us is our truest and best friend in a sense, because they or it or the all is with you all the time. And if there's anything that's true, it's that feeling, it's that knowing. It's something that cannot be taken away. It's something that no one can make you believe doesn't exist. And that's what the higher self is. That's what the oversoul encompassment is. That's what your soul gives you. That watcher, that feeling of knowing that something is always with you at all times, that feels all your feelings, that knows all those nasty things you think in your mind sometimes that you don't want to share out loud, that you will not share out loud. And some of the best joyful moments in your life that you want to explain and no one would ever understand, but you know deep down inside is there. So realistically, the higher self, they give it names, but that's not the point. The point is that it's this inner internal you that is with you everywhere. And when you tap into that, you know that it's the truest thing. You know that you trust that more than anything on this planet, even your own mom. Reason being is because even your mom or your parents or your siblings, none of them know your life as well as you do, as well as that watcher does, as well as every single thing you've ever gone through in your life, every tragedy, every joy, every feeling of like misstep, heartbreak, all of it. It's watched and it's felt and it's clocked by this inner self. It's like your best friend that you don't see. It's the one that relates to you more than anyone else in this world. And that's why the higher self is given these terms, but really it's you. It's you. It's the you that watches you. It's the higher aspect you, but it's the one that knows you. So that's why it's like sometimes we put these like high stationed occupational statements about what this is, but really it's like everybody has this. We all feel it. We have experienced it. We know it. We talk to our higher self constantly saying like, oh, is this the right thing to do? Do you think this is the best way to go? Who do you think you're talking to? And we call it ourselves because that's what makes us feel comfortable. But really, why is it that what comes back is wisdom? Why is it that what comes back is something that is so profound, that knows your emotions and knows exactly how you feel to a T? It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. It is so real and tangible to only your unique essence. And that's why I feel like sometimes these names make it so much more complicated than it needs to be. So that's why I try my best to express what the higher self is, because in all those moments of tragedy, in all those moments of joy, the higher self knows exactly who you are. And realistically, if you think about it, when the higher self is challenging you in your life, you'll notice that what your challenges stem around is your biggest fears. Because when you step into your biggest fears, it's actually stepping into who you are. Like I said from that story I just shared at the beginning, that boy that hurt me tried to take away my freedom of my exaltation of speaking my truth, of saying who and what I am. And it took me many years of working with my higher self to realize that this is the type of stuff we all deal with in individual ways. And realistically, it's like my story is maybe not your story, but your story is unique to you. And your higher self throws you these challenges just like this live right now. Because I sat on this live for like a month or two because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and show people who you are. Even if, you don't mind speaking, it's hard to just go off the fly, without anything, like literally, like there's nothing on this page. I just keep, scribbling because that's the thing. And I knew that I was like, no, I have to challenge what scares me. Hey, we have to challenge what scares us. And if we don't challenge what scares us, then we don't get to know ourselves. From India. Oh, wow. Hi, India. How are you? But yes, so that's my little talk about the higher self. And that, in a sense, this higher self is our soul. Our soul is unique to us. But in a sense, the soul is like a drop of what anyone wants to call creator, God. I don't care the name you want to give it. Source. So we as individuals on this planet are given this essence, and realistically the essence that we all have is a part of this larger source. And the larger source is kind enough to share parts, fractals of itself within us, animated in us. And we, in a sense this always. We know that this watcher, or this like tandem self is always with us. Is this fractal? Is this like drop of the creator in us? Because it's all knowing, it's all understanding, it's all seeing. And no matter how many books try to phrase it or change it or mold it or morph it, it is to understand that we are walking embodiments of this larger creation. And when we are challenged with fears, like I was with this, our higher self or our higher version of us, which is, like I said, internal from the beginning of this talk. Looks like I got a lot of people from India. Wants us to challenge the things that scare us most, because that's actually what's going to get us closer to the actualization of overcoming things. Like for me, why I'm saying the story I said at the beginning is because you can see from that very young age of 5, I had a trauma that occurred that stifled things that came to be, even as I sit here right now. But I know that when this whole live thing came up, I was like, oh, hello. I was like, this is where this stems from. My inner self, my higher self had to show me why I get so freaked out about doing these lives. Why I get so freaked out about speaking my truth. And I had to follow the yellow brick road back to certain traumas in my past. And that's what the higher self is engaging us to do, is to always challenge the darker parts of us, the parts of us that are scary to look at, because the whole point of this is to get to know ourselves the best that we can. And I want to thank everyone who's coming on. I hope you guys, if you have any questions about the higher consciousness or a higher self, or of, space, time, name it, I'm here. But I also did want to do a channeling for you guys, because that's another thing. I have a gift of channeling. I can channel people's higher selves, but I can also tap into certain entities. But I figured, and how I do it is by scribing. I figured, why not do a collective one? I'm cool. Thank you, Leslie. I wanted to try a collective one. I've never done this before. I've always done singular people, one at a time, and tapped into one, energy at a time. But I figured, since I'm collecting people here, and there's people that may see this in the future, because time is relative, I'm going to just like zone out and start to see if there's any messages that come through. If you guys are cool with this, let me know in the comments if you want, or if you have any questions, feel free to jump in too. because I've never done a collective read before. This is the first time. So I just use my pen and my paper and see what comes through. I've already chimed in. I like to start off when I do my channelings asking out to my team. And if you don't believe in a team, we all are, in the spirit side of things, like we are loved tremendously. There is a lot of support because going through the lives we face is not easy, and it doesn't matter where you come from. So just like we have a family on the outside, we also have a family on the other side as well. And a lot of people come reach out to me to tap into those persons as well. I also do mediumship work, which is, let's say, when others that have passed come through. So I do that work too, but I can't guarantee that that will be what happens first. The first thing I'm getting, though, I don't know if somebody's cat. Something's going on with someone's cat. I don't know if it's lost or passed away, but that's the first thing I got. And if that is the case, they're saying hi. I don't know why a cat first came out. The first thing was the first thing. So if you don't mind, I'll take a couple seconds to sit here with this. What is the message for the collective today? I heard there's a lot of people here hungry for understanding. Themselves, the world. Okay, that's pretty general. Some hopeless romantics. Okay. I heard Evie's gonna come back. That's the next thing I heard. Evie's gonna come back. This could be the cat too, I don't know. And then I heard she wasn't meant to be yours. Remember, this is not me. I don't know these people. She wasn't meant to be yours. If any of this resonates for you guys, please let me know. Okay, so Evie in this instance, I'm getting has a sister. So whoever in my collective may be the sister to this girl or this woman named Evie. And I get the sense that the person's trying to evoke an emotion out of this woman, Evie, or try to get her back. But realistically, it's like somebody stepping over their bounds. Like, if this is the sister that's in this collective, it's like she's trying to force it. And realistically, that's not how this person's ever going to come back into your existence. And this, you don't, the names and the person's just rearranged this. Maybe this is just a general message that if there is somebody that you love, because it's, I feel like has to do, because I heard hopeless romantic, has to do with love per se. And then I heard the job's working out great. Okay, now I'm moving and shifting. There's someone who just started a new job. Finally feeling whole, finally feeling like as if this is something that they've been waiting for. And they've been in it maybe 3 months now, and it's working out really well. You're young, whoever you are, that the job's working out, I'd say in your mid-20s. And you're finally feeling an air of success. This is something else I'm getting. And you're scared that this goodness that's coming to you is gonna, when somebody feels like, oh, the shoe's gonna fall, or something's gonna get taken away because it's just too good. Whoever you are that's going through this, that may be seeing this in the future, please don't take that mentality, because it's kind of like, and I'll say this, whoever you are, it's like as if a grandfather watches over you and expresses that it's like finally it's your turn. Don't try to make it fit, don't try to make it go away. Realize that like this was made for you, this job, and don't try to second guess it, self-sabotage. Feel like something's going to get taken away just because something good is working out for you. So this is, and I feel like this is a male, young male that's finally getting the job of like not a lifetime, but in the direction of their hopes and dreams. Okay. Then the next thing I'm being brought to, somebody lives by the ocean, surfs, or where people surf. Okay, and this person that lives by the ocean, they may have a lot of free time on their hands because it seems like all they do is surf and that they feel really lost, and the only time they feel okay is in the water because they feel like they should be doing something more with their lives. Here's the answer to you. If you've been feeling lost, if you're somebody who surfs or is in the ocean a lot, the answer's been staring at you in the whole time in your face. It's like maybe you come from a culture. I get the sense that you come from a culture where like surfing isn't seen as like something that would be viable, or like you come from a culture where you're like, oh, I have to be a doctor or a lawyer to be seen as something profitable, etc. But it feels like you come from a place where surfing isn't even something that's like, it's not like you're coming from California. Like I get the sense you come from maybe like the I want to say like East Asia slash maybe India ways. I had some India people here as well, but it feels like you're good at this, but yet you don't feel like this is a viable business, and it's kind of like this is what's staring you at the face, like why not start this business? Because it kind of feels like you're this is the one thing you're just not seeing, but it's like it's just because you have the outside of your world telling you that this isn't what is good for you, but it's like it's your favorite thing to do, it's the way you feel most free. So it's kind of like why not do what makes you feel free and realize that it doesn't matter what the community or what your family makes you feel, because this is going to help you tremendously, and it's going to make that lost feeling come into full fruition, because it's like you're finally going to get to do your passion. Well, I'm getting a lot of male energy. It's crazy. It's like I got that first woman, and now I'm getting pulled over to another person, another male. Maybe there's a lot of males feeling a little stressed these days. Um, the next person I'm getting is like, let's say, I would say that this is like in the middle America. No, I'd say city, Chicago, Boston, something like that. Person keeps looking at their watch over and over again. They're in a suit. They keep seeing the watch. They keep looking at the time, and it feels like this gentleman is entrapped. Okay, so whoever this is in my collective, you feel like you don't have time for anything. Like I'm seeing someone who's missing out, maybe not just in a job perspective and not realizing that the job they have is consuming everything. It's like as if I see a guy who works really hard and wants to be recognized, and then at the same time doesn't have time to date, doesn't have time to have a family, doesn't have time, but thinks like, oh, if I work at the job, then I'm going to be exemplified. And if I get the career, then that's when everything else unlocks for me. But it's actually not like that. And I will say that you are someone who works out. You're somebody who's, it's like as if I'm watching someone in a suit where the suit doesn't even fit that well because you're too, and I'm not trying to, make light of it. Like you're pretty buff. So it's like the suit is really, really tight on you. But it's like in the same way the suit constricts you is the same way that that watch constricts you. But you look at the watch as if it's an emblem that you've made it because it's a nice watch, and you feel like, oh, it's like the finer things that I have that make me who I am, yet everything about my life is so constrained. Like, I feel like you eat clean, you go to the gym, you do everything perfect, you wake up early, you take care of yourself, and yet you're always off the mark in terms of time. You're always feeling like you're trying to run to the next meeting, get to the next thing, go to this place, go. But it's like as if, like, it's not that you're tired out, but you're not realizing that as you pursue this, it's like you're gonna miss out on everything else. Meaning, like I said, with the whole dating and the wife and the kids. And I feel like deep down inside, this is something you truly want, but you think the job is going to afford that to you. But it's the opposite. It's like you're so bound to these constrictions that you're not noticing that the world's passing you by, in a sense, because it's like you're that's why the clock runs you, because you're constantly trying to chase time, chase clocks, chase like, it's not to say that being driven is a bad thing, but it's to the point where it drives everything away. Everything is driven away because you don't realize that it's actually a catch-22. It's not the job, it's not the things, it's not that. That's not what's going to get you. Ooh. Okay, and for whoever you are, I will say this. Here's the other thing. Oh, this is a bad message, but I gotta send it out. The time will be cut short on you if you don't catch this. Meaning that like, maybe perhaps you're stressed out all the time to the point that it's like an underlying anxiety, that it actually takes hold of other functions within the heart, the lungs, something like that, where it's like you might be like someone who has a heart attack young, not because you don't take care of yourself, but because you're always stressed out. So it's like as if, like, the message to you when you do see this, I don't know who will see this in the collective, it's like, take heed to that, because it's not worth it, because the time will be cut short for you if you don't realize that this isn't everything. Okay, I'm being drawn somewhere else. Okay, so I have a woman in the collective next. Nice to see us ladies coming through. This is a woman who I feel is the mother of maybe two little girls. Two little girls. But is doing this without a mom. So I'm getting the sense that there's a woman out there in this collective that has two children, put it that way, but I see two girls. And maybe perhaps her mom just passed away. And she feels very lonely because she's doing all this without her mom. So it feels pretty new. I'll say that. It feels new enough that, like, you didn't and I feel like you yourself, you might be in your 30s, and this passing, like, your mom wasn't that old. Like, so it wasn't even thought that this person would pass. I would say she was in her 60s the most. And it's like, now that your girls, I think the two girls I'm seeing, one's like maybe like 4 or 5-ish, and the other one's maybe 7. It's like they're well on their way, but it's like you feel so alone because you're doing this. You want to pick up the phone and call her. You want to ask her all these questions. And I would say that this woman, I'm getting Europe for some reason. Well, Anna. I'm getting the name Anna. If you do see this and this message is for you, your mom is trying to come through. And this would be somebody who's not only mom, but father. Father passed sooner, so the mom was a big deal. The father passed when you were younger, like maybe while you were in your teens, and then your mom just recently passed and you were in your 30s. And you're grateful to have your mother-in-law, but it's not enough. And that makes sense. And it's funny because I think you have a sister too, just like your two girls. And it's like as if I feel like maybe the sister and you, like you have a different life than your sister. Like your sister may not have children, or she wasn't somebody who was part of the convention, or hasn't followed convention yet, or hasn't gotten married or had kids, and then there is some type of separation between you two. Not separate that you're mean and angry or whatever. It's just that like you don't connect anymore. Maybe you weren't two sisters that connected a lot anyways. I feel like the message I'm getting is that this needs to like get tighter and closer. This relationship between you and like what I was seeing was two people leaning on each other for support, so that this passing of your mom is not as difficult. And it's like, in a sense, it's like you guys will learn to become each other's rock in a time where you both feel and have the same situation. But I feel for this woman, because by specifically it's because of the kids. Like she feels like grandma's not there. But it feels like, and I don't know why I was getting, maybe the sister's name is Lisa, Anna and Lisa. But I take this whichever way it works. I don't want to go there. That's sad. I don't want to. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is a very specific message, and this is for somebody. There's somebody that tried to do something to themselves and hasn't followed through. And I hope you get my drift when I say this. Like they sat there with the weapon and tried to tell themselves to do it, and they couldn't. And they're pretty young, I'd say. And I feel like this person's sitting in a motel. I feel like you're sitting in a motel. You don't want to do this in front of family, or you don't want people to find you. You're not married. You don't have kids yet. That's not the feeling I'm getting. I feel like, okay, if this is you, and if you're attempting but something keeps stopping you, it's because it's not your time. Ooh, okay. Feeling I'm getting about this person, I feel like maybe you've watched a lot of people go, and maybe because of, let's say, this could be something where like I was getting what's that called, PS, when you have post-traumatic stress. Yeah, post-traumatic stress. You've seen a lot of people go, and it haunts you so much that you keep wanting to go to that place in yourself, but you can't do it. And it's not because of, let's say, kids. It's more of like you feel like there's something that keeps holding you back from doing it, even though you go to such low places. And I'm sorry I'm talking about something so tough, but the reason, if you do see this, the reason why you keep getting stopped or you don't end up going through with it is because you are supposed to do something more. And it has to do with, I do think first and foremost, you may need to get some help, not because of like where you're going, but because there might be some imbalances or something that has never been looked at. And if you're willing to do what you're thinking of doing, then please have the, the courage to maybe look at that avenue first. But it's like I'm seeing so much tragedy, and like I'm seeing limbs, and I'm seeing like this person, whoever you are, I don't want to cry. You've seen a lot, and I feel like maybe you haven't channeled this pain or this energy, because it's like let's say, for example, like you went to go try to volunteer, and then it was too much. That's why I think the therapy will help a bit, because it's like if you can get to a more like decent place mentally, then you could go start working at the volunteership, and then start spreading your word. But until you get the help with the PTSD, then these attempts are going to keep following you, and I hope this message reaches you in time, because I feel like this is somebody who's done it, like, or attempted or gotten the courage to try maybe 3 to 4 times already, and chickened out, but not to call you a chicken, like rightfully so, because you belong here. I'm sorry that this was a darker message, but that's the first, and it's a younger guy. I'd say you're in your 30s, feeling really alone in that motel, and I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna step out of that. That's a little too much. Okay, now this is going even, this might be for people in the, okay, I'm sorry, this is a different one. I'm getting the sense of somebody who's in a culture that there's arranged marriages. And this is a female. And there's a female that I'm tapping into right now. Part of arranged marriages. And it's like as if this person is screaming inside, not because they're not in love with the person that they have to go down the aisle with, but it's more of like they're living a lie, like they're of a different persuasion, let's just put it this way, and that's not something that's even, and I get the feeling that this is a religion or maybe a background which would persecute somebody for being like this. Like if I were to put it in like simpler terms, like if let's say they were Islamic in nature, and like let's say you were found to be of a different persuasion, like let's say girls liking girls, this would get you into a lot of trouble. But I have a feeling that unfortunately you're going to have to go through with this marriage. And what I will say is that at least the person you're getting with, the gentleman, like he will actually be, I wouldn't say tell him right away, but it's like he'll actually be a friend to you. So it's like you won't have to live in this silence forever. It's like as if like you will be end up marrying your friend, and they may not understand, but when the time comes that you're older and you maybe want to fight and break out of this person is going to help you. So as much as this might be very difficult for you at this time, just know that this person is a friend, and this will not be as bad as you think it will be, in the sense of you experiencing a friendship love, not true love, but a friendship love. And I kept hearing Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. And I don't think that's anytime soon, but maybe that's when you guys are getting married. Ramadan? I don't even know. I'd have to look that up, what background that is. But yes, it's like as if like this person is like, will be your friend more than anything else. And this is a woman that I'm tapping into. Is there anything else for the collective that needs to come out? Julie? Okay, I heard Julie is everything to me. And I don't know if it's going to be Julie or the gentleman. I have a feeling the gentleman's not, he's incarcerated, or he did something where he can't be with Julie. Either Julie's married or he's incarcerated, because it's like, I have the feeling Julie doesn't want anything to do with this person. Okay. Sorry. I was getting that somebody got caught. Somebody got caught lying to their, like, that they had a spouse. Julie's not the spouse. I'm getting the feeling like somebody just got caught in trying, like, let's say if this was a person who goes on vacations or trips and they had an affair. Julie is the one that they love, but Julie is the one that got lied to, and this person is taken, and that's why Julie left them. But why am I getting this message? If I was Julie, I wouldn't listen to this guy either. Why am I getting this? I guess it'll be a message for somebody. I'm sorry. I'm not getting any more answers on that. Is there any other messages? No? Okay. Well, if you can see, if you guys can see everything, I guess you can't. But that was my first attempt at a live reading. Is really different. I've never done one of those before. I don't know who's going to hear that or who's going to see that or who the messages are for or if they're helpful. Any comments will, but I know that time is linear, like I said, so somebody could see this and get a message today, or somebody could see this a message a month from now or years from now, and then it'll make sense at the time that it hits them. So I can't really make sense or try to put any credence on who they're for or what they're for. So I do thank you all for those that came on board, like Leslie and Nadai, if I said that wrong, Abby, and or one. Thank you so much for saying and sending your love in the chat. This is my first live. If you guys do like what I'm doing or want more of this, I'm probably just going to keep doing this and come with tidbits of the higher self as they go on, and then do these live channelings. And hopefully this will be a good message for you, and we can build this community and keep growing. You know what I'm saying? But I love you guys lots. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.